Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Sonia. Here on my channel, we have healthy discussions about life, love, dating, and relationships while promoting self love and healing. I also give dating advice, relationship advice, and talk about healing and healing journeys. Tonight, we're going to talk about Ready to Love season 4 or 5. We're going to talk about the reunion part 2. So normally what I do is just kind of give my advice, my input, and give some insight to the show. I don't do a traditional recap or review. So before we get started though, I want to welcome you to my channel. If you are a new subscriber, thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. If you are returning, welcome back fam. It's good to see you. If you are just passing through, hello, thank you for stopping by. Please consider subscribing to my channel. Everyone, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. I enjoy your comments, so I will see you in the comment section below. We are wrapping this season up. I am really happy about it. There's another one starting next week. I may be doing a collaboration with that one. I will let you guys know. We will see. We'll see what happens. But let's get started on reunion part 2. First up, we have Zadia and Nayeen. And this is what I have to say. Be careful about the company you keep, right? The company you keep speaks volumes about you as a person because what you're complicit in means that's who you are, basically. Um, as far as Naeem goes, I feel like Zadia and Naeem are the same person. I feel like this was all for show for the two of them, and I didn't see anything genuine. I don't really want to go into it because I really said all that I can say about Zadia the last episode. So, and I pretty much still feel the same. And I'm going to talk about it a little bit with Dante, but I just lost a lot of respect for Naeem as an individual as far as how he carried himself. But when he spoke to Tommy, he said that he was like Zadia once upon a time. And I think he's still like Zadia. I think that's what he's showing us, that his stripes have not changed. He is just quiet, whereas Zadia is more outspoken. So I wish them well. I wish them love and life, light and healing. And that's all I have to say about the two of them. Next, we have Mr. Walter. They talked about Walter's journey through the process and him having an attachment with, or a connection, I should say, with Sabrina and Mumin. I don't think Mumin was ready for a man like Walter. I just don't. I don't think he would have been a good fit for her either. So I'm happy that didn't work out. I don't think he was really interested in Sabrina as much as he was trying to tell us that, I was. It's just that I wanted children and she didn't. I think it's deeper than that. I think Sabrina was correct in stating that she was too young. She was too old for Walter. Walter wanted a young woman. I think Walter liked young women. I think Walter likes being a bachelor. I think Walter likes being in the streets. I don't think Walter really wants a relationship. I don't see him being intentional about a relationship. I could be wrong. I don't know him personally, but he doesn't date with intention. Walter also likes to be pursued. And I want to know what his zodiac sign is. I don't know what his zodiac sign is, but he likes to be pursued. He reminds me of a Sagittarius. Sagittarius men like to be pursued. Anyway, he pretty much let us know that the very first meet and greet, because he said, I saw Sabrina, she gave me some attention, so I gave her some. Walter doesn't want to be rejected, as nice looking as he is. And let me just say this as a side note, I normally don't talk about fashions, but I thought Walter was best dressed. I really, really like Walter's suit. I like a clean, simple, tailored, stylish man. I don't like a lot of extra patterns, colors, or anything like that. I really he pulls himself together very well. Walter always looked nice. I'll give him credit for that. But I don't think he dated. I don't think he has the intention of really settling down, being married, or wanting a relationship. He's been single for a very long time. He doesn't talk about himself. He doesn't reveal himself. He is emotionally unavailable, in my opinion. I just don't see him as a man who really wants a wife or a woman to settle down with. And I find it interesting that he's saying he wants children. My question is, does he want children in marriage or outside of marriage? Like, does he just want a child? Because nothing is adding up. Nothing is adding up. As far as the conversation with him and Sabrina, I understand what he's saying as far as Sabrina saying she didn't want children, but she did want children. But even with that said, I really believe that he liked younger women. And if Sabrina had chased him, he probably would have given her more play. But a lot of women don't want to do that. I'm surprised him and Courtney didn't hook up. I think that would have been a good look because she likes to chase men. He likes to be chased. And I'm sure she would have had another child and she's younger. So I find it interesting that they didn't make much of a connection. But she was chasing Cornelius and then Corey was chasing her, which is very interesting. I'll get into that later. But anyway, as far as Walter goes, I don't really have much to say. I wish him well. I heard he does a lot on the scenes. I'm sure a lot more about him will come out. I know he did an interview. I didn't watch the interview, but good luck to Walter. Hopefully, he will have a child if that's what he wants, but I hope he has the time to really be active in that child's life because it seems like he's really busy. So we'll see. Oh, another point I want to make is Sabrina is right. When a man is intentional about you, they will make time for you. Time will be one of the most valuable resources that they will afford you. And the fact that he wasn't willing to afford her this time is telling. So, best of luck to him. Next up, Courtney and Cornelius. You guys know how I feel about Cornelius already. I feel like Cornelius is manipulative and deceptive. He's a confused, double minded man, and I don't entertain that kind of space or energy from anyone. And I don't trust him. I know there's a lot on the streets about him right now, but I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked one bit because you know what he strikes me as? He strikes me as a man who, and I think I've said this already, who he allows the women to fight for him, to do for him. He plays this man who can't speak up for himself. But really, what he's doing is being allowed to do his dirt in the streets. And he lets the women fight it out. He lets the women deal with the mess of it all. I was on Kamisha Reviews YouTube earlier. She did a live because I guess she was supposed to interview the young lady that he was dating while he was dating Camille on the show. And I guess Camille had jumped in a live the day before or something like that and stated that she was getting a lawyer on his behalf for defamation of character. And it's like, well, how is she defaming the character? If they were in a relationship or if they were dealing, that's what they were doing. She's not slandering his name. She's saying that they had a relationship together. But he'll allow that to happen. Everybody can fight over him and for him. The ex-girlfriend spoke up for him when she met Camille, when they had the meeting at his house. I just don't trust him. Be wary of that kind of guy. A double-minded man, a man whose words and actions don't line up. Just cut that off. It's a waste of time and you'll end up getting your feelings hurt. Remember, it's so important to guard your heart. As far as Courtney goes, I wish Courtney had stayed on the show longer. And like I said, I think maybe her and Walter probably could have hit it off more. I wish she hadn't spent that time on Cornelius and spent more time getting to know Walter, because Walter would have been all for the chase. But I have to say this, and I know this may be an unpopular opinion, and I talked about this in my Courtney's video. I don't like the fact that she chases after men. I feel like as a woman, and this is my personal opinion, as a woman, when you want to be cared for, protected, and provided for, you have to set that precedent up early on. If you come out the gate showing this man that you're going to chase him and you're going to be in charge and you're going to take care of everything, that's what's going to happen. That's how your relationship is going to go. And then once you are exhausted, tired, need a break, want some support, it's not going to be there because you didn't set that as the standard for your relationship. It is so important from the beginning to set the standard for your relationship. I talk about that with Aisha. I did a video on her, but I'm going to also talk about it with Aisha and Dante. Set your patterns and your standards early. And, I honestly believe that Courtney's presentation is a facade. I don't believe that she really wants to be this person. I feel like she's doing this to protect herself. I won't have to get rejected if I am the initial aggressor. So I can control the narrative. But it got her eliminated from the show. You know what I mean? Um be a lady, be feminine. That is the key to everything. Femininity can move mountains. I'm here to tell you. So I really hate that that's how I really don't like the fact that that's how she just decides to pursue her relationships. It's not for me, but this is my personal opinion. But I just don't believe that's really who she is. When she's with Corey versus when she was with Cornelius, there were two different energies. She enjoyed the flowers. She enjoyed the dates. She enjoyed the cards. That's what you want to get. She enjoyed him taking the initiative. We can say what we like about Corey. I'll get to him later. But the romance and the pursuit and the dating, she enjoyed. So you have to be willing to allow a man to do that for you. And that means stepping more into your feminine and not being so masculine and aggressive. I wish Miss Courtney well. I hope she gets what she needs and deserves out of life. But if I was to ever speak with her, I would advise her to dial it back and allow herself to be a lady. Be a lady and be pursued. It'll make all the difference in the world. She's going to need some help and some support. You don't want to be the one doing all the work in the relationship, but that's the precedent that you set up when you come out the gate chasing and going after a man. So, but beautiful woman, wish her well. I wish she had worn her big hair though. I miss her big hair. I like her big hair. And I would have loved to see it with it being dark. But best of luck to Miss Courtney. Um, I also want to say I like the conversation that she had about celibacy. I love her honesty as far as her sexuality goes. I love the fact that she's like, I'm a woman, I enjoy sex, and I don't want to wait 2 years to figure it out. I need to know what's happening beforehand. That's honest, and I appreciate that from her. Now, I don't think Cornelius was waiting. I never thought Cornelius was waiting. He gave himself an out early on and said, things may happen, I'm going to try. And I talked about all that before. But I do like the fact that she was able to have that honest conversation around sex and intimacy. I don't think that conversation is had a lot. A lot of times women are so worried about how they will be perceived that they won't have that conversation. So I do respect that she did that. I just want her to fall back into her femininity more because she's a gorgeous woman and she could rule the world, child. Next up, we have Corey. And again, I did a video on Corey. And to talk about Corey, he had a segment where he started crying. He didn't know why he was doing this. Do I believe Corey's tears? Yes and no. And I say that because I really do believe Corey is lost and that does hurt him. But I also believe he was being manipulative and dishonest in the moment. There's something, in my opinion, there's a lot of things wrong. I don't really want to get into what I think because I don't want to get into the medical aspect of things, but there's some issues there. Okay. I'm going to say that. But again, I did a video on Corey as well. And it's so interesting to me how he cannot receive information. Corey does not receive information well. He doesn't receive feedback well. He doesn't take accountability, but there's something else there there's something else not clicking there. And I really do think it is more medical related than we may know. And I don't know if that's ever been addressed. I can tell that he had like a speech impediment that he's worked on, but there's something else with him. But anyway, he is aware enough to know, and he is intelligent enough to know what he's doing, and what he's doing is right or wrong. But I don't think he has the ability to understand long-term repercussions. And let me say this too. He keeps talking about his parents and how his parents were and how his parents love. I have a hard time believing that you have these examples, but you don't know how to incorporate this in your life. I have a hard time believing that you've seen a healthy, loving relationship, but you don't know how to have a healthy, loving relationship, unless we're talking about this other issue that I don't want to bring up. Um, but that's telling to me. So again, I feel like there's an issue with dishonesty. We know that Corey doesn't like to tell the truth and he will not hold himself accountable. We know he lacks substance, he lacks vulnerability. He said his father was very active in his life, but he doesn't strike me as a man that's had a lot of male guidance. So I don't know. I don't know. There's a lot of missing pieces there, but like I said, he doesn't communicate well. He doesn't take constructive criticism. He doesn't take feedback. He can't hear what you're saying, and he is in denial, denial, denial. There's something else going on with Corey. But, as I stated before, he needs to learn to listen. He needs to take accountability. He needs to get some feedback. He needs to get some direction from a good, strong foundation. And I really think he should be evaluated. Corey needs to be evaluated for a couple of things. So, but again, I wish Corey best of luck too. Again, I don't believe the tears completely, but I do believe there is some brokenness and some sadness in him that he has spilled out. But I believe he feels that this facade must go on. It's interesting, but there's something else wrong with Corey. Anyway, moving on to Miss Tasia. And we found out that Corey and Tasia had, she was part of the triangle, which made it a square, which I wouldn't want to talk about that. If I was Tasia, I would have just talked about my process, like, oh, me and Corey had something, didn't work out, move on. I would not have wanted to go into that any deeper because that was just a waste of. But she's vaxxed and waxed and ready to go. I've talked about Miss Tasia in the past too. I know a lot of the men loved her and they felt like she was genuine and honest and she kept it real, but she couldn't figure out why she couldn't move forward. And, I've said before, I think Tasia doesn't really understand that her energy sits on ready. Her energy says, I'm ready for a fight, an argument, or to defend myself. She's not mean. I don't think she's mean. Like, she's definitely not a Zadia, but there's a certain amount of aggression there. And if she can pull that back a little bit, she'll get what she's looking for. And there's a man out there that's gonna like who Tasia is. I really hope Tasia finds love because, like I said, you can tell she has the biggest heart. She will be your friend. She's your true rider, and she's gonna love you to death if she loves you. So, wishing Miss Tasia well. Next up, we have Zadia and Dante. Zadia should have been sent home. Everyone has said that, so I probably don't need to repeat it, but Zadia should have been sent home for crossing the bounds with Dante or should not have been at the reunion, in my opinion. I feel like she just has so much work to do. She has to deal with all that anger, all that aggression, this competitive nature. I didn't realize that she said early on, I'm staying to the end or I'm not going home or whatever the case may be. So that just lets you know that this was all about competition. And more things are coming out that's verifying that. So I think we pretty much all know that. But it's disheartening to me that she has such a lack of accountability and maturity. To be such a smart, beautiful businesswoman with a brand, this is how you show up on TV. So that saddens me. I wish her the best. Um, I really hope that she gets the help and support that she needs. As far as her and Dante goes, Dante handled everything so well. And I talked about that before. I loved how he kept the cool. Everything with that situation between Dante and Zadia getting in his face could have gone completely wrong. And that would have been to his detriment because he's the male. So I'm happy that he handled the situation the way that he did. And it's pretty much over. And he chose a woman who was better suited for him because Zadia is the kind of woman that will constantly get you in a situation that you don't want to be in. I'm going to tell you something what I learned at my big old age. Don't entertain anyone or anything that won't consider you. right? If a person can't handle their alcohol, if a person doesn't know how to talk to people, if they don't know how to behave in public, if they don't know how to treat people, if they don't understand the importance of home training and know how to implement home training when they are in public, I don't want anything to do with them. And because they'll put you in a situation that will cause harm and be detrimental to you. And that is Zadia. So I'm happy that he got away from her and he's moved on to Miss Aisha. Speaking of Miss Aisha, we have Aisha and Dante. I love them. I love them. I hope they work. I know she has an interview with Crystal later. I'll be logging in to watch that. I love them. I love that she's feminine. I love how she carried herself. I love that just she didn't I love that she didn't allow herself to be a stereotype. I love that she was able to do what Dante said she did. She had her heart out. She was vulnerable. Like Courtney and Cecilia can learn from Aisha, in my opinion, as far as how she carried herself. Camille and all the ladies, aside from Sabrina, all of the ladies on that show that made it to the end could have learned from Aisha. But she is what healed and healthy looks like, you know? You know how to handle yourself, take care of yourself. Yeah, you're strong, you're a businesswoman, you have a family, all these things, but you are still a woman and you are still a lady. You have a standard. You require that they meet the standard. You have your intention. You verbalize your intention. You're not just waiting to be chosen by anybody or any man. You don't need attention. You just want to be taken care of by the right person that really wants you and values you for yourself. I love it. I love them two together. They seem to be really, really into one another. I hope it works out. I know some people don't think it will last. I hope it does last. And if not, I hope they learn great lessons from one another and then they can move on. But they seem to both be in a really healthy place. They have very important ingredients, though, that really can make this relationship successful. They both work on themselves individually, and they don't require that their other partner be their complete and total happiness. That's a game changer right there. As long as they continue to want to work on themselves as individuals, as well as work on the relationship, they can be very successful. And he said the sky is to the limit. I love the fact that he was honest that, we really started doing the work once the cameras went off. And so the reunion was they're still fairly new. So there's still a lot of work to be done, a lot of dating that they need to do. So, but I saw them on a live the other night. They seem to be really happy, really enjoying themselves. And I'm happy to see it. I don't think Phil and Sydney are still together though. But we'll see. I wish them well though. I wish them the best. I hope they get married so we can see. I hope they're the first couple to get married. But more than anything, I just hope that they are happy. I saw how the other couch, Camille, Cornelius, Naeem, and Zadia was looking. Zadia had this look on her face. It was like a smile that hurt, and she didn't really want to do it, but she was determined to sit there and smile and not look phased. Naeem was like, he had no emotion. Cornelius actually wanted to, you can tell he kind of wanted to be more positive, but he knew Camille would be mad, and Camille was just mad. And I'm like, Camille, you didn't even have a connection with Dante. Why are you so upset? But here's why she's so upset. That was supposed to be them. They were supposed to be the golden couple. They were supposed to be the couple that made it to the end. And how dare she made it? I just don't feel like they thought Aisha was good enough to be the top, you know? But Aisha's a wonderful woman. She's a great person and she carried herself really well. And I'm happy for her. I do want to mention though, I love the fact that Tyrone shot his shot. I can't wait to see Tyrone get him a woman. Tyrone gonna get him a woman and Tyrone gonna treat that woman right and they're gonna be happy. I know a lot of people don't believe that, but again, Tyrone does self work. Tyrone is self aware and he's becoming more confident and more comfortable. I've been watching him on his lives and things like that. I'm really, really happy for Tyrone. I'm proud of him. I send him a lot of love and support. And I hope he finds true love. Maybe him and Carrie get back together. They seem to be really giggly. So we'll see. We'll see. But the season has ended. I wish them all well. I want to thank them, although I know they probably won't watch this. I want to thank them for putting themselves front and center. I appreciate them putting themselves front and center. I know this can't be easy for you to put your life out there and talk about yourself, to have everybody point the finger and pick you apart, but they do it. This concludes this episode. I am wishing you all a very good night. Please don't forget to love yourself for who you are. Like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Have a good evening. I'll see you in the comments. Bye bye.